Hi, and welcome to the gallery at Papillon. I'm Linda von der Schmidt-Listella, and I'm going to introduce you very briefly to the 4 panels that I've created for this new exhibit, Where Does the Earth Sing Everywhere? Based on the Canticle of the Creatures by Francis of Assisi. It's an over 800-year-old poem that speaks to the earth and speaks about the earth. It speaks in relational terms, and I felt that especially today, with our very great concern about the environment, the poem had information for us. And so let us begin. And so I began, as the poem begins, looking at brother sun and sister moon, the stars, and the weathers, all of those creatures that are so essential to our lives. One thing I was really interested in creating these was to incorporate a human figure in each. I felt that would best connect us to the reality of how we stand in relationship to those elements. And so I continued, as the poem does, looking at brother fire and sister water. Both of those are addressed as very merry and cheerful and useful items. And I wanted, in the course of this panel, to have a sense of equality with both of them. And so the water is what surrounds, and the fire becomes the central heart of it. Again, with a human figure interacting with both. The third stanza of Francis's poem deals with Mother Earth. And that, for me, was the heart of the piece, really putting us in touch with all of that which surrounds us. When I look at this, I was really interested in incorporating figures, animals, creatures that I have a personal relationship with. So we spent some time at a pig rescue, and so getting to know pigs was really an important piece to me, and I will always include a pig. The rabbits that we have very frequently over our lawns in Metuchen, and the foxes and deer that have really taken over. All of those are creatures that we've become very close to living with here in Metuchen. In the background, you see there's a bull, actually a steer. His name is Bullseye. He lives with my nephew on his farm. He is an extremely friendly bull, and we met him several months ago, and I knew he had to have a part of this. And then the winged creatures, the butterflies, the birds, and always a snake. I'll always include a snake simply because I feel they get a really bad rap and they aren't looked upon with the kind of really great symbolism that they have. Shedding their skins and all of the kind of transformational processes that they go through. So Sister Earth, we look at in this and recognize that we're called to walk with her in a way that both of us, both human and Mother Earth, Sister Earth, will be able to move forward well. And finally, in the last stanza, the poem speaks about death and about the difficult things that we as humans deal with. And as I worked with that, I recognized that we were being called through the poem to embrace the whole of what it means to be a human person. Not just in terms of forgiving, but in terms of what it means for ourselves as well as others, to embrace the whole of it. And then in terms of death, Francis speaks about her as Sister Death. In other words, that element which brings us to the conclusion of this piece of life. It is not a hooded black figure with a scythe, but rather a gentle, loving element that takes us to the next stage.